Hello and welcome. If you're new here, I'm excited to meet you, and if you're returning, I hope you're having a much better day than the last time that we talked. Today, we are just going to ask what it is that we need to know right now about now. What is it that we need to know that's going to help us move forward? And I want to remind you that my readings do involve a bit of shadow work along with intuitive messages that go along with the cards. So with that being said, let's get into this reading and find out what it is that we need to know right now about now. What can you tell us? Signs. So since this is the first card, I'm going to be saying that you're receiving signs right now. This isn't a time for you to ask for signs. This is the universe is giving you signs, and it's almost asking you to be observant, to look around, to pay attention to what's grabbing you, what's resonating. These signs can be anywhere from literally like a bird to an actual street sign. It could be, a phrase that you keep hearing on repeat. It could be, you keep seeing this logo or this, company's name. The sign can be anything. It's a matter of you realizing what is out of place or what keeps happening on repeat. Once you notice what that sign is, you can ask for further guidance. But right now, know that the universe is giving you signs. They are giving you helps. They are giving you breadcrumbs. Naive. Okay. This card, so first off, I want to say that naivety isn't necessarily a bad thing. It has a very negative connotation to it in today's society when you talk about an adult. Like when you talk about a kid, being naive is fine. But when we talk about being an adult and we think of naive, that almost feels like an insult, but it's really not. It just means that we don't know enough and that there's more to the picture, and that's okay, because when you think about it, you can't know everything about everything, and you definitely don't know all the different possibilities, routes, and ways that spirit can do things. So when I see this naive card, I'm going to tell a story that relates to me. And that is, there's been a time where I had to get a second part-time job for a little bit, and I thought that I only had option A and B. And then once I allowed myself to relax into the idea that I had to do it and I wasn't resisting anymore, all of a sudden I had options C through F through L to M that I didn't even know existed. So my naivety was believing that I only had two options, when really there was a myriad of possibilities. It just was out of the realm of what I considered was possible. So this card is coming through and saying that yes, you are being naive because you only believe it can be a certain way, when really there is more potential, more possibility, more routes that you aren't aware of. And it's not because you're not knowledgeable or wise or intelligent, it's just because you don't have the full picture. Overthinking. Okay, so this actually kind of goes right with that naivety card here, because overthinking means that you're obsessing about whatever the issue is. You are looping on it and you're not giving yourself a chance to receive room for anything. And you're gonna be like, Kirsten, this is immediate, this is huge, this is like something I have to take care of. I get that. I 100% get that. Here's the thing though. You need to accept what is happening. You need to accept what the issue is. You need to accept whatever the initial truth is. Let it run through your system. Let yourself get angry. Let yourself get mad. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel fear. Whatever emotions come with it, allow yourself to have that moment. And then after you have the moment, and this moment can take like a minute or it can take like 30 minutes, however long it has to take, like we're not going to stay there. And then we're going to journal and write about all the things that we feel like are, contributing this, are stopping us, are limiting us, the only version of the only thing that we can get. We need to get those thoughts out of our head. And then we need to realize, okay, I don't know exactly how this is going to solve itself. But what I do know is that there's a solution. And even though you don't know the solution for this, we need to start getting solution oriented. Maybe that means doing the dishes. Maybe that means doing the laundry. Maybe that means going for a walk. The point of this is, though, there's actual science behind this. Once we allow ourselves to become solution oriented, we tend to find the next step toward the bigger issue that we're facing, because the neurons in our brain are like, oh, we're focusing on solutions now. And so your brain, like the chemicals in your brain, automatically just go, okay, let's start finding solutions. Let's start seeing what we can do. And I'm not saying that you're going to find like the immediate solution, and I'm not saying that it's going to instantly take away all your problems. Let's just talk about something that's really relatable. If you're in a large amount of debt, okay, and you were managing it and then something happened and now you're not managing anymore, the instant solution would be for you to get more money somehow. Okay, well, that's easy to say, but like, what is the actual realistic next step? Do you need to, maybe look for a second job? Do you need to maybe ask someone for money? Do you need to, maybe look about how you can consolidate things? Do you need to talk to an advisor, an expert? What I'm getting at here is you allow yourself to know what the next step is. You don't have to know the full plan. You just have to allow yourself to receive the next step. Responsibility. So this card is coming through and it is telling me that this is about real life issues. And I get that. We live in a very 3D world where, money, taxes, government, all that stuff, plays a huge part into our lives. And as much as we love to be, in the spiritual realm, we are in a very earthly realm here. This doesn't take away from the fact, though, that spirit still plays a very real part in your life. This is a unique balance that's hard to navigate. And this picture is interesting because I've seen this look both ways. I've seen the hands help build the bridge, but then I've also seen the hands take away from the bridge. And whenever the hands are building the bridge, the message has always been, you're doing the right thing, keep going. Whenever the hands are taking away from the bridge, the message has always been, you're not allowing enough room for us to help you. And right now, I'm not seeing either. I'm actually seeing this as the still picture that it is, which I find interesting, because what that tells me is right now, you're at a point where you can close out the universe and spirit and their ability to assist you, or you can let them in. It depends on what your next step is. If your next step is to just say, you know what, this is the way it's going to be, and, I'm only going to do it this way, then you're not allowing room for spirit. If you are going to be like, okay, I know that this has to get done. I don't know how it's going to get done. I don't know what the full picture looks like yet. I just want to know the next step. That's letting spirit in. And let it be said that what I'm talking about is not necessarily easy to do. This takes a lot of courage because your brain is programmed to believe that if you don't do it this way or one way or the right way, that everything's going to fall apart. That's the way our society has raised us. So understand that this type of thinking isn't your fault. This is just something that we have to learn to undo. We have to undo that type of thinking and make room for something that is actually healthier and more natural to us. It just doesn't feel natural because we've been taught to do something for decades. And then when you're told that the thing that you're doing for decades is, the way that's actually hurting you or keeping you trapped, and you have to unlearn it, it feels wrong, even though it's right. I want to ask the tarot cards now. I want to ask them what it is that we can do. No, it's not even like what it is that we can do. I'm sorry. This one is kind of tricky. So what we're going to ask is actually, like, what is the origin of what has brought us to this space? Not like, what caused you to be in the debt or caused you to be feeling trapped in your work life or in a toxic relationship. I want to know what caused the origin of this thought pattern, this loop, because whatever this lesson is, it goes deeper than what's on the surface. So that's what I want to ask. I want to get a little further into this because the truth is, once you get out of this, and you will get out of this, both of those cards, okay. Once you get out of this, it's also important to know how to not get back into it. And so a lot of times things, I want one more card actually. a lot of times, sorry, I'm a little scattered today. A lot of times, like we'll get out of it and we'll be like, okay, I'm never doing that again. And then we find ourselves in the same place and we're like, what the heck did I not learn? And the issue is it's because we never actually addressed the original problem. So strength. Okay. This card comes through for its main message that you are stronger than what you think. You have more strength to you. Oh, worth is actually another word that came through very strongly. Okay, I'm getting the bigger picture here. You were taught that your worth was tied to your productivity, that your worth was tied to what it is that people saw you do or who you look like or what you became. I'm not sure what word I was going for there. But your strength is in so much more. Your worth is in so much more. You're worthy just because you exist. You deserve food, shelter, happiness, friendship, love, just because you're alive. Do animals' worth, like, does your cat or dog or, your child's worth matter because of how much money it brings into your life? No. So why should your worth be the same thing? So this card is actually coming through with a very unique message. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you have the strength to be who you are. But you need to realize that your strength and your worth are not tied together. Your strength is your ability to do things, maintain things, and carry things through. Your worth does not matter based on any of that. You are always worthy. You have the strength to maintain yourself, but you are always worthy. Nine of Swords. So a lot of anxiety, a lot of despair. And yes, this is reversed, but even in its reverse position, it's actually, I feel like, more aggravating. Because in its reverse position, we know that the thoughts in our head, we know that the loops, we know that the patterns aren't truth, but we just can't figure out how to get them to shut the F up. And I get it. I've been there. And you know what? Sometimes I've had nights where even journaling didn't work. And I'm a big component of journaling. It's my soapbox. So understand that when those thoughts and those things just keep looping and you just can't get them out, another trick that I have learned that helps is just to be like, you know what? These don't need to be answered tonight. We can deal with them in the waking day. And you're like, Kirsten, that's avoidance. That's not helping the issue. Hear me out. You're going to do a lot better making decisions about these things on a solid night's sleep. This card shows me that you're losing sleep over this, that you're losing energy, you're losing peace over this. So if you can put them in a little container of, this does not need to be solved tonight, and allow yourself a chance to wake up more refreshed and then deal with those thoughts in the morning when you actually have energy. And I'm not saying first thing in the morning. I'm just saying after you wake up and you get awake. You're going to be able to process and work with those thoughts so much better. So if journaling's not helping, if affirmations aren't helping, if talking and venting about this is not helping, maybe just tell yourself, I don't need to find the answer to this right now, not in this exact moment. It can wait until tomorrow, or it can wait until after lunch, whatever it is that you need. With that being said, though, make sure when you give yourself that allotment to work on it the next day, that you do something to work on it the next day. Even if that is just journaling, even if that is, somatic breathing, or whatever your release is to help yourself with these thoughts. But right now, we need to focus on getting you rest and finding peace at night. Then we have the Seven of Wands. And this tells me that you are feeling like the world is against you and that no one's able to help you and that you are, doing this alone. Here's the thing about Wands. Wands is that action-oriented suit. So this is me understanding that, yes, you feel like the world's against you. You feel like you're standing alone. You feel like you're receiving no help. But what needs to be done is you need to have belief in your actions. The more belief you have in what you do, the more other people are going to and the more confidence you're going to have, and the more you're going to make the changes and see the confidence in yourself that you want so desperately to have, that you can have as long as you allow yourself to believe. So this Seven of Wands is coming through, and it's saying, yes, the odds may not be in your favor right now, but keep acting in the way that is true to you, and things will tip in your favor. And everyone that is standing against you, everyone that's telling you you can't, will shush up and back off. Five of Wands. Fives are always about change. So this card's coming through and telling me that you are amidst change right now. And when you're in the middle of change, things get really confusing. And part of it is honestly not even your fault. Your brain resists change because your brain likes things to be easy and smooth and like one-way flowing. When you change something, you put your brain to go on to detour mode, and it doesn't like the detour mode because the detour mode actually takes more energy for your brain to do. Even if it's a simple task, it takes more energy for your brain to detour than it does to do the same thing that's not useful for you. So this Five of Wands is coming in through, and it's telling me that right now your actions are being wobbly, they're being clumsy, they're being stumbly. You're really having troubles prioritizing what it is that you need to do first. And it's not because you don't know or you don't have the ability to do it. You do. It's just right now your brain is really fighting against you. And that might be a hard concept to understand, but this is science. This is psychology. This is real. So stop beating yourself up because right now things feel clunky and hard and confusing and like you're in a fog, when you just need to understand that that is 100% part of the process. And I am in my own chaos, so when I say chaos is where the magic happens, I'm not saying this all nicely, easily, and woo-woo right now. I'm saying it because I understand that when I'm in midst chaos, when my life feels so caterwonky and so off balance, I know that that means I'm actually getting myself to where I want to go, and I just have to get through this really bumpy part. Think of it like road construction. It's obnoxious for a while, but eventually something good comes of it. Your road construction can last a couple months, it can last years. It's up to you, and it's how much time and energy you put into keeping and going after your goal. Just know that this phase is temporary. It's not permanent. And then the Ace of Pentacles in its reverse position. This tells me that we have the blank canvas effect going on right now. That right now we are so nervous about what to do next that we're just kind of paralyzed. When I say the blank canvas, it's like when you have that blank piece of paper or the blank screen or whatever it is, and then you go to make that first line and your brain's like, you're going to screw it up. One wrong line and you're going to screw it up and we're going to throw this whole thing away. And that's not even the truth. The truth is that you just need to do. And then when you do, you're going to find the way. And then you're going to be able to work with whatever's already there. Pentacles is not just about your finances. It's about your time and energy, because you spend time and you spend energy. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because, yes, the Ace of Pentacles could be that you receive some new finances. Because either in its upright or reverse position, aces are always about new beginnings. But this ace here is telling me that maybe what you received wasn't new finances. It was new time and new energy that you don't know what to do with. And you need to figure out how to utilize it in a way that works best for you. Or maybe you have a person that came along and said, hey, how can I help? That is you receiving a new resource of time and energy, someone else's time and someone else's energy, but you're just like, I don't know. I literally don't know. Allow yourself to just start allowing someone to help. Allow yourself to be willing to just do. Allow yourself to realize that, okay, you know what? It might be sloppy in the beginning, but it's going to get better and I'm going to perfect it as I go on. It's about starting and it's about doing. And this message is coming through knowing that you are probably already feeling very overburdened. You're probably feeling burnt out. But what's being called and asked for you to do here isn't to push yourself to exhaustion. It's not to continue to push yourself until you pass out. What's being done here is being asked for you to do aligned action and for you to work from a place of understanding that, okay, I just need to focus on next step. And if I'm too overwhelmed, I'm too in my own head to receive next step, I need to find a way to stop the loop, to stop the pattern, so I can focus on solutions, so that way my brain can help me just realize what next step is. Let's ask the cards. Let's ask the cards for what the next step is. You know, if right now we're just so in our heads that we're having some troubles finding solution-oriented time, let's just go straight to the cards and ask them. Let's put it on them. Because sometimes inspiration comes in the most random ways, and maybe this will help you to find inspiration for your next step. Whoa, that was like 3 cards. New day. All right, so this goes really well with what I was talking about with letting yourself sleep and have a new energy to be able to focus on the problems. And I know, again, I talked about how, trying to fall asleep with all this running into your head. Put it in a container. Tell yourself you don't need to focus on it now, that you can work on it tomorrow. Because new day isn't just about, hey, I'll deal with this tomorrow. It's also that reminder that each new day you have is a new day for you to find new solutions and for new things to help you and to come into your life. And then there is the cliche message here of it always gets darkest before the dawn. And why I'm putting that message last is because that is an important message, but right now you also need to remember that a new day comes with new energy. And with new energy, if you allow yourself the ability to focus on things, you will find that you will find new answers. Abundance. This one might feel like a slap in the face for some of you, but I'm going to challenge you right now. And I'm going to ask you to look around and see what it is that you are abundant in. Do you have clothes? Do you have food? Do you have, resources and materials like books and games or other things? If nothing else, I know that you currently have and live in an abundance of oxygen. Yes, if you need to get that meta and that abstract to realize what you are abundant in, go for it. But focus on the good abundance. Because if you focus on problems, issues, money problems, relationship issues, if you focus on that, then that's what's going to come to you. If you can focus on the abundance that you have that is serving you, that's going to help you bring more things that are going to serve you. And this feels abstract, I get that. But again, there is psychology behind this. It's that whole solution-focused thing. If you can focus on what you have, if you can focus on solving problems, your brain chemistry literally alters itself to be like, okay, we're going to focus on this now, and it starts thinking differently, and it starts acting differently. So, what do you have around you that you have abundance of that's already helping you? Growth. This is a growth phase. This is something that you're going through that is meant to help you. This is not punishment. This is not, forced isolation. This is not because you are being selfish. There's something that's happening through this journey that is going to help you be of the version of you that you are working to be. But in order for you to get to that person, to that version of you, you have to go through this growth phase, unfortunately. And growth isn't easy. Literally, think about it. When kids grow up, we call it growing pains because growing really hurts. Growth requires resistance, unfortunately. Science has proven that too. Every time something grows, there has to be resistance, there has to be separation, there has to be something. So right now, I'm not saying to be joyful for the growth. I'm not saying that at all, but understand that good is coming out of this. It might not be the good that you want right now, but it's going to be something that when you look back at this, you're going to be like, I get it. Hey, struggle. That's exactly what I was talking about with growth. The struggle card is actually one of the hardest cards for me to understand when I was learning this deck. It was actually a struggle, pun intended. That was a bad one, sorry. But this card always represents a salmon swimming upstream to return home, so that way it can continue its life force. The point of this is, that sometimes in order for you to get back to your center, to get back to your own home, you need to go through challenges that help you realize what is still for you and what isn't for you anymore. Think of it this way. This is going to be like a really like metaphor here, but we're going to talk about if you're climbing up a mountain, okay? You're climbing up this mountain and you've had this backpack that you've been carrying this whole time. And you're at the point where it's very steep and you realize, you know what? Half the things in my backpack I don't need anymore. So you have the option of going up the steep with all this weight that you don't need, or you can allow yourself to remove what you don't need and then go up the steep and find that it feels just as hard or just as easy as the original walk. What I'm getting at here is it's not about you carrying the extra weight. It's about the struggle pointing out that, hey, you are carrying extra weight. What can we drop? What can we let go of? What no longer serves us? It's all good. You know, the funny thing is I picked this deck because this deck tends to be very pointed about what the next step could be. And it literally picked like the 5 most abstract cards in this deck. Anywho, it's all good. It comes through. And yes, again, it feels like a slap in the face. But the truth is, hold on, I have to stop my cat. Sorry about that. My cat was chewing plastic, and I don't know if it got on the microphone, but like it is literally like nails on a chalkboard to me. Cannot handle a cat chewing plastic. And also, it's not good for the cat because if he gets into his stomach, there's a whole bunch of other issues. Anywho, it's all good. Pun unintended, but funny at that time. This card's coming through, and it's that reminder that, like, you don't know the full picture. Like, you have this little triangle that you are in, and that's all you know. You don't understand how everything else around you is supporting you. So it's not saying that your situation right now is all good. It's not saying that what you're feeling is great. It's that reminder that you are protected. You are guided. You do have guides that help and love you. Universe is there for you. It's a matter of you remembering to go inward and find your inner strength, your true worth, your true confidence. So that way you can find the stillness in the chaos and you can realize, you know what? It is okay. Yes, there's a lot that you might have to do. Yes, this might mean and require a lot of work on your behalf. But right now, in this moment, if you're watching this video, you're okay. And that's what matters. I'm just asking for some encouragement now, because this reading had a lot of heavy energy in it. This reading is all about trusting and getting outside of your own head, and it's asking you to be courageous. And anytime that I have a reading that's asking for courage and asking you to trust, I'm always wanting to have encouragement, because you know what? It's a hard message for me to receive, so I don't know why, I would think that would be an easy message for you to receive. Keep the promise you made to yourself. Super important. The promise that you made to yourself is the reason why you started this journey to begin with, is the reason why you started this change. Keep the promise you made to yourself. The promise that you made to yourself is going to help you get further than anything else. It is the why, it is the reason, and it is worth fighting for. So keep it to yourself. Well, keep the promise that you made to yourself for yourself. Hey, rest then rise. Oh my goodness, I talked about that several times throughout this whole reading. That is so synchronistic, whatever words. But that's the point. Allow yourself to regain your energy. Allow yourself to, get a good night's sleep, and then deal with it when you have the energy. You trying to accomplish or work this through on negative energy, zero energy, being burnt out is not going to do you any favors. Give yourself a good night's sleep. It will do more for you than anything else, I promise. It's safe to want more. Ooh, this one's a big one, because this one, in this moment, I understand it's scary to dream and hope because you don't want to get disappointed again. The fear of getting hurt again is very real, very loud. But know that it is safe to want more. You are allowed to want more. It's back to that worth that I was talking about with the Strength card. You are worthy just because you exist. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to stay strong outwardly. You can just be you. Don't let the lies that you have learned take this away from you. It is safe to want more. You are worthy of more. Progress, not perfection. This one's huge because this one reminds you that it's not about how it looks. It's about that you did it. It's about that you did it and that you got through it. It's the fact that you keep showing up for yourself, that you keep doing what you need to do, whether that be you taking your rest, whether that you be taking action, whether that be using your voice, whether that be you going inward and meditating or journaling. Keep doing what you need to do for you. Everything is progress. Progress is what's going to make the change. Progress is what matters. And you know what? This reading was a tough reading. I'm not gonna lie. This energy was hard to sit in for me as well. But you're going to succeed at this. You're going to do this. Because not only did you sit and listen to every word that I said, but your heart found truth in these words. There is something inside of you that is excited to know that there is recognition and that you have been seen and that you are going to succeed. And if you can't trust in yourself right now, if you can't believe it, allow me to believe for you. Because I know you can do it. And if you need a vent, if you need to let me know your situation, if you just need to talk it out, there's a comment section down below. Feel free to hit me up in the comments. Just do what you need to that's going to support you. Again, whether that be rest, whether that be action, whether that be going inward. Do what you need to do for you, and the rest will solve itself out. I love you so much. I cannot wait to hear your success story, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.